This is an ideal setting for an ambush, a common hunting strategy for lions. But it tends to be a warm weather sport. In the dry season, there's little moisture in the vegetation. Grazing animals must come down often to drink. Lions know this. Three females enter the waterhole zone. 2 grown adults and 1 young lioness, a novice. They're part of a pack that split off from the mountain pride. A hungry splinter group having a go at hunting on their own. Related lionesses form the core of any pride. They are the expert hunters. The secrets of their trade are passed down to the female cubs. This morning, the other pride members are sleeping in. Their alarm clock will be the sound of a kill. If the trio is successful. They take up their positions before any sign of prey. Lioness number 1 is equidistant to numbers 2 and 3, about 65 meters apart. None of them is stationed more than 45 meters from the waterhole. This triangle formation means only one thing: the ambush. They surround the waterhole while leaving enough room for prey to enter. Experience tells them prey will probably come from this direction, then down a hill that leads to a popular drinking spot. Now they wait. The ambush requires perfecting a vital skill: patience. Two hours go by. Nothing. After 3 hours, a sound. Thirsty zebra, from the direction the lions expected. They stop to assess the risk before going further. Zebra have learned that danger lurks in these parts, and they're prepared. They're fast, cautious, and travel in numbers. All excellent defenses against predators. But thirst makes them vulnerable. The distance closes between hunter and hunted. Lions are fast, but only in short bursts. If they don't get close enough, their prey will outrun them. Too close, and they'll give themselves away. Any of the lionesses can start the ambush. They'll wait for the defense to make their move. Once the zebra have got close enough, here in the red zone, a lioness will strike. Suppose cat number 1 leads the charge, but fails to take down the target. Cats 2 and 3 are in strategic positions to intercept the fleeing prey. Finally, thirst trumps fear. It's all going according to plan. until some spectators show up. Swainson's spurfowl will screech when they sense a threat. The zebra will then be alerted to the hunter's plot. This cat must remain calm, or the ambush goes up in smoke. Luckily, this older lioness knows what to do. Remaining still, she convinces them there's no danger, and the hunt is still on. Now success relies on the last stage, the timing of the charge. How do you know when it's right? No one can say for sure. It takes that unknown, unquantifiable factor. Experience. The attack ends in failure. So what went wrong? The lionesses have taken 5 hours to reach this critical point of the hunt. But it's the culmination of millions of years of pack and prey evolution that led to the outcome. In this round of the age-old game, the defense triumphed. Perhaps we should ask, what went right for them? Many prey species have evolved to live in herds, and there are many benefits. Safety in numbers, for one, and more scouts to look out for danger. Perhaps they saw or heard the lions before the charge. But looking back, we see the trio flawlessly getting into position. Quiet, stealthy walking and artful camouflage. Perhaps the zebra picked up an alarm call from another species. Not the spurfowl. Here the lioness's passive concealment preempted detection. But she couldn't do anything about another spectator. Like birds, baboons send out alarm signals when predators are in the vicinity. But the zebra didn't seem to react to their distant call. What is clear, if you look closely, is a problem with the charge. It seems the timing was off. The culprit? The rookie. As with many youngsters, she lacked patience. The ambush might have worked if the lioness waited for the zebra to move into the ideal position for the net to close. The retreating herd would have been cut off by the waterhole and blocked by the other hunters. But the inexperienced cat jumped the gun and scared the zebra back up the hill and away. The downside of hunting in a pack is that you're only as good as your weakest link. The cat's sole compensation today is a cool drink. But this wasn't a waste of precious lion time. It's excellent training for the youngster, and therefore the entire pride. There's nothing like learning from losing. Even with the inevitable defeats, lions seem to understand that the benefits of pack hunting outweigh the drawbacks. On average, the group hunt has a 1 in 3 chance of capturing and killing prey, compared to the lone hunt's 1 in 5. But there are advantages to going it alone. A single cat can more easily stalk unnoticed. This lioness is a very experienced hunter. Surprise is her special weapon. She's good at sneaking up close to her prey, an important tactic not as easily achieved in a group. Without her perfectly adapted claws, success would be elusive. Lion claws are retractable. When a lion is not hunting, claws are kept sharp under a protective sheath. As a lion jumps on the prey's hindquarters, it releases its claws and sinks them into the flesh like hooks. The cat tugs downward, while muscle and teeth take over, finishing the job. A lone hunter can keep more of the spoils for herself, but eventually she'll have to share with some of the others, even if she doesn't want to. Sharing is a lion thing. Most other cats are loners, but lions depend on each other to raise their young, to defend their territory, and especially to hunt. It's their extraordinary ability to coordinate their attacks that gives them an edge. The mountain pride is skilled at the group hunt, but they're struggling. They can't seem to kill enough prey to quell their hunger. Something is getting in their way. A problem that might seem familiar to many species. Teenagers. Teenage boys. Normally, when the cubs reach 3 or 4 years, the dominant males kick them out of the pride. These elders won't tolerate sexual competition. But there are no adult males in the mountain pride. Perhaps they died or wandered off to join other prides. As a result, the young males have stayed at home. The mothers have tried to teach them to hunt to earn their keep, but they're mostly interested in sleeping in. These hulking teenagers have the strength and appetite of adults, but they act like cubs. The mothers and sisters must hunt more to feed themselves and all these growing boys. If the females don't kill more and bigger prey, the whole pride will be in jeopardy. As night sets in, the females pick up a mouth-watering scent. Impala. For a lion, an antelope like an impala is not a lavish meal, just daily grub. But this doesn't make the hunt any easier. Impala use a kind of advanced warning system known as the flight zone. As soon as a potential threat crosses the perceived boundary, the animals know to run. The alarm system provides a head start. An impala knows it can outrun a lion if it takes off as soon as the alarm is triggered. The lions must respect the flight zone, get to know it, and eventually penetrate it. They must get as close as possible to their prey without being detected. This is because lions are built for speed, not for distance. Like all cats, they stand on the balls of their paws. This allows them to dig their toes in, bend their feet, and propel themselves forward, giving them a flying start. Their muscles snap into action. Made for the sprint, lion muscles extend over the entire length of the leg. They're fueled by glycogen, a chemical that releases a concentrated burst of energy when needed. But it is short-lived. A lion may be able to hit its top speed of 60 kilometers an hour in a split second, but it can only maintain it for 90 meters. Prey like antelope or zebra have hooves that lack the bending ability of paws, so are slower off the mark. But once they get going, they can maintain their top speeds for much longer. Some antelope can reach 80 kilometers an hour and leap 9 meters in a single bounce, 3 meters high. These leaps aren't only useful for the fast getaway, they may be an example of what biologists call pursuit deterrence. They leap around before an attack, as if saying, "I'm too nimble for you, so don't even bother." The hunters quietly slip toward the prey. Tonight, the wind comes from the east, disguising the lion's sound and scent. They fan out into the darkness, forming a line from one angle. They're foregoing the ambush option. Lying in wait is useless, since their prey is already in place. Instead, the cats decide to go for another strategy. Five cats will form a line, staying within eye contact of each other. They'll want to get close enough for the collective sprint while remaining outside the flight zone. If the outer lions cover the wings while the inner ones cover the center, their chances of catching impala will increase. The lionesses on the wings should start the charge. Some impala will leap away, but others might run towards the middle, where they can be intercepted. The impala sense something. They start to jump. But it's just a hippo, another vegetarian fumbling in the night. Again, a noise. Just another herbivore. The hunters turn this distraction into an opportunity. This time, it works. A stranglehold suffocates the prey. A number of important factors made this hunt a success. Firstly, the lions accomplished the task of getting close enough to the flight zone border without incident. Secondly, the lions did take up their positions as wings and centers, but with a slight variation. They launched the blitz in unison, creating massive confusion, capturing an unlucky impala in the fray. Thirdly, there were major problems with the impala's defense strategy. The leaps were on display, not for the lions, but for this bystander. Hardly a threat. The false alarms of the herbivores might have turned the impala complacent, discharging their leaps before they were useful. A lucky break for the lions. Why didn't the impala detect the real threat in advance? The lions moved into the wind, concealing their sound and smell, allowing them to close in on their prey before the attack. All these variables created the perfect storm of events, empowering the lions to make a killing. As in any battle, the outcome is determined by strategy, skill, and a little luck. Tonight, the female hunters are rewarded for pulling off their plan. But the victors will not be left in peace. Now that the mothers have done all the hard work, the 8 young males show up, proving they too have a worthy skill: stealing. They leave nothing for the lionesses. But even among the freeloaders, there is little to go around. One impala weighs about 60 kilograms, so would barely satisfy a couple of lions in one sitting. For us, this would be like a large family sharing one sandwich for dinner. Desperate for a meal to feed the whole pride, they'll have to take extreme measures. Next time, the hunters will attempt to take down the ultimate prize: the tallest animal in the world. Most lions would attempt to pick on someone closer to their own size. Out on the grasslands, a mother tends to her foal. It's safer here than in the dense forest. The sweeping view she has from way up high allows her to detect predators approaching from afar. Her flight zone appears to be larger than the impala's, probably because the giraffe is a slower animal and needs more time to get a head start. Through trial and error, lions know this. They also know if they penetrate this giraffe's flight zone, she won't run. She's a mother, and she will not leave her foal behind. There's no need for an ambush or blitz. Instead, the lions come up with another plan: the siege. Ideally, this tactic requires surrounding the prey and pushing in. 2 lions will distract the mother, while a third will sneak in and drag the foal away. The lions creep close, encircling their target, blending in. The foal gets tangled in the grass and lags behind his mother. The hunters seize the moment. The lions pull off the first phase of the strategy. But now they'll have to contend with the mother's fury. They pause and reset their positions. The foal is injured. Suddenly, a 4th cat barrels in, distracting the mother. Without her, the foal is defenseless. But the mother returns with a vengeance. Suddenly, the tables are turned. But the giraffe has made a fatal error. While lunging, her powerful hoof hits her foal. She seems to know what she's done. Perhaps fearing for her own life now, she flees. It's over. In the end, the siege worked, with a couple of surprises that tipped the scales in the lion's favor. First, the 4th cat entering the scene successfully redirected the mother, letting the others sneak in. Second, the lions got lucky with the mother's terrible mistake. The law of unintended consequences has been good to the lions. But a large lion family needs much more protein than the foal can provide. The mountain pride is hungry. They have no choice but to risk a more dangerous mission: a full-grown giraffe. The odds are against them. How will they go after the mighty giant? They start with a move to the right location. To the edge of the mountains. Rocky terrain. Here, the male giraffe feed off the thick acacia trees. And here, they're more vulnerable to attacks. Because here, their main defense is useless. Giraffe can't easily run over the rocks. In fact, they're stumblers. Their height serves them well, except when it comes to stability. Once felled, getting back up is tough. Lions observe this. The giraffe's other excellent defense, seeing far across the grasslands, is also compromised in the forest. They can't see, and they can't run. Like the zebra risking their lives for a sip of water, the giraffe must sometimes trade safety for a meal. The pride enters the male giraffe territory, gearing up for the challenge. But a curious sight stops them in their tracks. The battle of the necks. Two males wrestle to establish dominance. As they age, the bones on their skulls grow and toughen. The duel may look graceful, but a well-placed blow is like a wrecking ball crashing into the neck. A lion's life is full of surprises, but problem-solving is part of the job. They definitely can't attack two giraffes. Maybe such a duel can be turned to their advantage. Surely the contenders will be exhausted after fighting. By the end of the day, the winner is declared. He can take a break. But the giraffe that loses the contest is in jeopardy of losing even more. The lions trail their quarry behind the shield of darkness. The mountain pride calls in more troops. 6 females join forces tonight. Their chances are slim, but they use the night to their advantage. Giraffe struggle to see lions in the darkness. But lion eyes are perfectly adapted to nocturnal hunting. Millions of rods in the retina enhance their ability to detect shapes in low light conditions. A layer in the back of the eyeball works like a mirror. It bounces light back through the retina, making objects appear brighter. It's also responsible for the eerie glow in their eyes. The mountain pride picks up a scent in the maze of the forest. It leads them to this silent giant. As with the female giraffe, an ambush or blitz is unnecessary. Instead, they'll deploy their siege strategy. First, the lions must herd the giraffe out of the trees and into a small clearing, giving them room to work. The pack will encircle him to within a meter of his hooves. At least 3 must distract the giraffe, while 1 jumps on his back. Then the entire team will wrestle him down. The giraffe has only one option: to fight. The lions attempt to flush him out of the trees. In the clear, they circle their prey, right under his hooves. The giraffe's back kick is its most lethal. Like a fast-swinging sledgehammer. But lions have learned to weave in and out of the legs to avoid the hoof punch. The front kick is also powerful, but more of a swat than a slug. Suddenly, one cat makes the leap. But another takes a kick in the face. The defense holds its own. The cats are weary. The combatants are locked in an uneasy truce. A decision to call it quits is looming. Until a surprise. Reinforcements for the Mountain Pride arrive. It's the young males, the ones who have hardly ever worked for their food. The extra troops break the deadlock. In the darkness, the battle ends. Finally, the young males earn their meal, the hard way. Let's take a second look and examine what worked for the lions. 1. They found the right spot for hunting giraffe. In rocky terrain with no place for the prey to run. 2. They made their move at night, when giraffe can hardly see lions approaching. 3. After herding the giraffe into a small clearing, they closed in almost directly under him, avoiding his kick, at least for a while. 4. A few cats distracted the giraffe, while one jumped on his back. This first attack may have seemed premature, but it contributed to tiring out the giraffe in the long run. 5. Remember the lioness who received the blow? In slow motion, we can see she actually twists her body backward, avoiding the thrust of the kick. This acrobatic defense allowed her to avoid an injury and stay in the fight. 6. If you look closely, you'll see a rotation. Some lions moved in while others retreated. They were tired, but would have been exhausted if they hadn't taken turns. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the teenage males entered the arena. The extra muscle enabled them to control the game and defeat the giraffe. At last, there's enough food to satisfy the entire mountain pride. It seems the young males are finally understanding the power of the pack. This death, this meal, did not happen merely by chance. There are many tiny variables reacting off one another that determine the outcome of the battle. The mastery of perfect timing, the fine-tuning of sensory skills, the fervent dance of defense. But it is this power of cooperation that has worked to the lion's advantage. The mountain pride has learned to take down the tallest animal in the world by pooling their expertise into team tactics. A smart move in the ever-changing duel of life and death, played out on the battlefield of the wild.